And good thing I'm a better developer than I am a streamer. Let me put this for that guy, and let's throw this guy back on. There we go. See if anybody has wandered in here yet. Not look like it quite yet. Just cool. Just cool. Looks like the bot for the YouTube chat hasn't popped up yet either, so we may or may not see chat from the YouTube side. I didn't fill this up before. Okay, we're gonna have to take a break here probably soon just to go fill this guy up, because I just emptied it. Anyway, what's up? What's up? I need to pull my latest changes. Hang on, because I think what last time maybe I had started working on swappable weapons. I don't remember, but I definitely finished it off stream. So I just need to pull my changes here and should be good to go. And I can show off what we got there. The code's messy. The code's real messy. I probably won't need to. I would fix it if I knew that I was going to have to interact with it like more in the future, but something tells me I'm not exactly going to have to deal with it all that much, so it's like, it's fine. And honestly, it's not even like a long file either. It's only a couple hundred lines of code. Yeah, it's like 400 lines of code, so it's not anything super daunting that I have to deal with. But if we come over here, we can now see, God, I don't know if I have, if I got gun audio on. I gotta deal with the audio at some point because it's way too loud. Oh, yeah. All right. So let's do you and you. So I gotta implement it in the other pages still, which shouldn't be too bad to do. But as of right now, the secondary is only actually functioning in the inventory. But I can grab this guy, equip that here, grab this guy, equip that here. My weights are like screwy, so I gotta figure out what's going on with that. But now, okay, cool. So I got the one gun. Then if I hit 2, it swaps to the other one. And, oh, good. It has a different audio sound, so it's got the old crappy one, but you can at least hear what's happening. But yeah, so that's working. That's pulled into my master and good to go. Oh, what do people want? Well, let me make sure the audio's good. Yeah, that seems fine. Huh, I've got rewards on my channel now? Since when? Hold on. Interesting. So when I join chat under my other accounts, it says lead on checks and games, disable the rewards. Don't worry, you're still earning channel points. So I've got channel points. I just don't have any rewards. Can I set that up? Is that a thing I can do? Hold on. Completely derailing what I was doing, but I'm curious now. let's put this back here. Oh, come on. There we go. And then let's just undock you specifically over here. Okay, so the creator dashboard. Oh, it's available to affiliates and partners. Okay, so that's weird that it like gives you a notification. But like I can't actually do those yet because I'm not an affiliate yet. Which we're getting close to affiliate status. I need like a handful more subscribers or followers. And then I think of people to be a bit more active in my chat. I think there's some days where I'm good, and then there's other days where like no one shows up to stream. So I'm still kind of inconsistent in that realm, but we are getting close to where I can have where I can get affiliate. Then at that point I have to be more consistent with my streaming if I'm gonna have people having access to subscribe to me. But all right. So what I want to do, I think for starters right now, I think the first thing I was just going to add is actually story time. I have engaged in another project. Not a video game project. This is other stuff. It involves one of these bad boys. This is a very old Raspberry Pi. This is only a Pi 2. But it'll do what I'm trying to do because I've done this before. Like I'm basically making a handheld emulator, and I don't feel like buying a pre-made kit. Like I want to do it myself. So I know for a fact that this can run RetroPie. It's not, I'm not emulating like N64 or, you know, anything, or like PS1 or anything like that off this thing, but I can do like Nintendo and Game Boy off of this, which is really what I'm trying to do anyway. So I'm sourcing out the parts and trying to, you know, build one out myself. It's a lot more complicated than I thought it was going to be originally, but it's cool. But I want to build like a physical, like handheld, like device that I can play with instead of just plugging into my TV. But that has turned into a whole thing of where, since I started messing with this again, I was like, but I can make robots. Robots are cool too. Which then turned into me looking for robot combat leagues in the Sacramento area, in the San Francisco area. So now I'm basically sitting here trying to build like a combat robot now. And it all started because was trying to make my Game Boy essentially, which I'm still gonna do. I just gotta wait for parts to come. Because this was a whole thing, like a whole rabbit hole I went down the other day in Anxious Buddha's Discord, where I was complaining about how I missed Radio Shack because there's not really a good way to just get like niche like microcontrollers and all like stuff like that just like in a shop. It's all online, which I mean ordering stuff online is fine. The annoyance though is like every time if I order something, I gotta wait for it to come and pay for shipping and all that fun stuff. But then the worst part too is it's like I'm working on it and I suddenly realize I need something. I have to order it and then wait for it to ship, and like that time like adds up. So like I really wish we had really wish Radio Shack was still around. Though I'm pretty sure that Micro Center probably carries stuff like this. I've only ever been to a Micro Center like one time, and unfortunately I don't have a Micro Center near me. As surprising as it is living in California, like there's not a Micro Center up in the Bay Area. There's one like down south, which is just not reasonable for me to get to. But I did find out that apparently the one in Santa Clara is coming back, which isn't crazy far from me. So I can use that one whenever it opens, but that's still like, I don't know, like an hour and a half, 2 hours away from me or something like that. So it still isn't exactly oh, I forgot something, I need something, let me just run across town quick to the Radio Shack like I used to be able to do when I was a kid. Yeah, that's kind of what we're working on right now, is that, a whole bunch of other stuff, and then of course Zomclave. But I should quit ranting and actually get to work. I'm actually gonna move this over here today. I need my other monitor. because for starters today, this one's not a huge mechanic, so we're gonna try to work on this today. But I want to add gun jamming into the game. And I gotta pull up my I was messing with graphs and shit, trying to figure out like the line that I wanted to do, and I think I came up with a relatively. Oh no! Come on. There we go. There's my. There it is. We're gonna add another function to this already somewhat of a mess system, but it's fine. I am. There we go. You guys probably can't see what's happening here. Reload. Actually, I probably want to have this next to fire, since this is going to happen nearby. Yeah, it's because it's related to fire. Private void, or no, private float. Get jam chance. This is gonna take in. I don't actually need to take in anything on this thing. Okay, so I think for starters, what I wanted to mess with is so the jam threshold. Is going to equal 30F. That means basically like once I've lost about 30%. Or no. Yeah, I did this. 70. That's what I need. At 70% is when it's going to start having a chance to jam. And we're going to have floats, curve power. And basically, this is going to make it as it takes more and more durability. It's going to become more and more likely to... I'm basically making it exponential right now, which I don't know if that's going to like, but I just know this is what I need. So for starters, if... Actually, I probably want to... Let's declare these at the top. Private const. There. No. I got this code. There we go. That's then now down here. And threshold, because now I can set this. If I put it up there, that means that makes it. I could potentially. Oh. This gives me the ability to. Oh wait, return 0F. There we go. This gives me the ability to, if I want to have guns have different like jam thresholds, I can change that instead of just hard coding into here. All right, why are you? Oh yeah, not all code paths return a value. That is fine. float normalized equals weapon durability divided by jam threshold. And I'm going to return 1F minus power of normalized and curve power. Your ability's afloat, you're afloat. You're afloat. Wait, normalizes afloat, curve power, you should be afloat. Yeah, why is it wanting to make it double then? Oh, does math power dot power returns a that returns a double. How do I convert that to a... ooh. Mathf dot converter. Double. Oh, what's the... Oh, what is it? Two double? No. There it is, two double. There we go. See, okay, when I was looking this up earlier, you know what? My the engine that path not power. It might be doing the Oh, you know what? It's because it's math F. There we go. Now, how do I want to handle the what's gonna? I can't just assign. I guess technically I could just have if you swap the weapon that unjams it, because realistically that's gonna be the same. Or no, because I want it to be the. We'll have to figure out how that handle that, but. I might have to add jammed to as a parameter. can deal with that later. Okay. Okay, so if it can't fire or I don't have an active weapon, it's going to return. If the ammo count is equal to 0, it'll return. If random dot value. What does that do? Okay, if random dot value is be less than my get jam chance. I'm gonna say debug dot log gun jammed for the time being. So then what I want to do though is I get rid of the audio source because I don't want to hear that right now. Hi, Hendrix. Like crying on the other side of the house. Okay, so I want a gun that's that might have broke something to be honest. Okay, actually what I want to do though is I'm gonna log the I want to log the durability just so I can see what it is looking like too. Actually, I want it to be is jammed equals false, because then in here this should be an underscore. That is jammed. Oh, jeez. Thanks for the help there. Is jammed equals true. So now what should happen is eventually I'll see a readout of durability. I have no idea how long it's going to take to get this thing to burn down. So we'll see. Hendrix. You see him right there? Yep. Hi, buddy. What you doing? Realize the YouTube site, the bot for YouTube never like, it's like has not connected to chat yet. Interesting. I don't know why it's so slow. Hendrix, what are you doing? Hi. Just rubbing your head against my tablet. All my Necromunda stuff. I bet he's tried to stick his head in that backpack. Oh, there we go. Now it came through. Okay, so it never just sent the connection message. Yeah, I bet you he sticks his head in that backpack at some point. Try to sit so you guys can see. Oh, that's not gonna work. All right, never mind. You guys won't be able to see him. Okay, so what I'm gonna do here is I give myself like a million bullets in here. Wait a second. We're not saving the durability. We're not saving the durability. That's a problem. So why is there... You guys can't see. Why is there 3 things in here? Oh, because I've got... Okay. Alright, so close this out. Reload this thing. You guys can't see this document, unfortunately. Control K, that's what I'm doing. Oh, Control K to Control D. There, nope. There we go. So only one of them is equipped false, is equipped false. Ammo count. Let's put like huge number in there. I put little too big of a number in there. Let's do like 1 million. I'm not going to shoot 1 million times. See that number burn down. I gotta get down to 70% before it even begins to jam. Okay, actually, so I can do a trick here. I'm gonna set the durability to 70. So we'll just immediately start at the threshold of when it can fail. Oh, yep, there's the jam. Alright, cool. The problem is if I that guy here flip over, I still can't shoot yet, so we have to sort that out. So that's more of something that we'll probably have to Yeah, we will have to save that to the item then, if we can just put another value of it as is jammed. Because I also don't want to... I don't want it like, because I don't want you to be able to just swap the gun and then swap it back in. Because I want the ergonomics to... Buy Hendrix. I want the ergonomics to actually affect how long it takes to unjam. And realistically, we might just use the reload time for the jam. But okay. So the funny thing now, though, is... Okay. So we're gonna have to add a new thing to that. That's fine. So we go in here. Bull is jammed. Put it where it's supposed to be. Oh my. I really hate the AI tools sometimes are not helpful. Okay, so it equals convert to Boolean loaded data is jammed. So then in the weapon component now, I can get rid of this. Get rid of this is jammed. Then do active inventory weapon dot is jammed. Active inventory weapon dot is jammed equals true. And then what we'll have to do is down here where we swap to set if the weapon is jammed. Jammed equals jammed. So that there we go. Now we'll be able to everything will be good there, which means I will have to add that in here. False. False. And this one will be true. Since we left this at being jammed. So now everything should load correctly. Realize I am not like centered at all. Go right here. There we go. And my cat might have. I don't sit at my desk centered, apparently. Okay, so there we go. So we can see that this gun can shoot just fine. Oh, it needs to reload now. But this pistol can shoot just fine, but if I swap over here, this one is jammed and needs to be fixed. Now we just have to add the unjamming to the... Now, okay, so do I want to use... Do I want to use the modified ergonomics, or I mean, yeah, I guess might as well. Who cares? It's not, let's make that stat let's make that stat like a little bit more useful than it currently is right now. One of these days, God, before I get like way too deep into this, I need to set up a proper input system here. So if active weapon is null, and we'll return out of here. If weapon notch, and then the same thing if it's not jammed, we'll return out of here. And then I think what we can do is either fire timer, reload timer. I might need to just make a new timer. Yeah, we'll just have to make a new timer. Where are my timers? Oh, right here. Jam timer. So we're gonna have to set up the jam timer. New timer. One shot, yes. Auto start, false. And then we need to set up its on timeout. So jam timer. It's on timeout. Plus equals jam timer on timeout, which obviously is not a function right now. We're going to throw that down here. Got the... There we go. So now what we can do is in the active inventory item, inventory item that is jammed is going to equal to false. And I'm realizing I'm not... Oh, maybe I am passing in when I actually fire. Because I believe there's a play that involves sending it a... Yes, okay, so if I go here, there's a run, and then there's a run where I do send it a wait time. That... Shouldn't that throw error? Okay, we're just gonna do that. So then, yeah, back in the weapon component. So I'm just sending it the rate of fire. When I reload. Is there a... Yeah, it's just passing. It's just passing in the ergonomics. So I can... jam timer dot play. Or is it run? Yeah, run. Ergonomics. There we go. We'll have to put something now on the little menu thing that says that the gun is jammed. Hendrix. And then ultimately, I think I'm gonna make it a point where there's a certain level of durability where it's just straight up gonna break the gun, and then at that point you cannot. I'm gonna have to I'll make an item, like maybe a field repair item that I can do that, or have somebody, you know, or I'm gonna have it, and I'm gonna have somebody inside the hideout where you can pay to have them fix your gun. But like broken's gonna be straight up like that gun is toast and doesn't work anymore. Okay, so if I play, so this can't shoot. If I hit V, let it sit for a second. Didn't work. Why did that not work? So if the active weapon equals null, I'm going to return. If it's jammed, if it's not jammed, I'm going to return. Otherwise, I'm going to run the timer. I'm going to pass it to ergonomics. Got like 3 bullets. Okay. So yeah, you can fire. You can't fire. Reload. Still can't fire. Press V. Unjammed. Okay, are you not registering my button click, like, or the key press? What's happening here? Everything's saved. Jam timer on timeout, which is what I added down here. Jam timer on timeout. See if I'm even like, if it's just not triggering the... Ow. Didn't mean to punch my mic. Unjamming. That definitely should have... I'm not... I forgot I have to manually... I haven't messed with my own timers in a long time. I forgot that I need to manually like run their ticks. That's 100% why I was starting it, but then it wasn't actually running. Because I think the only way to... Because I believe they're not mono behaviors. Yeah, they're not mono behaviors, which means they don't have access to update themselves. So I have to manually like... And any objects or any mono behaviors that do use timers in their update functions, they got to make sure they're ticking those timers. So I hit V, unjamming, unjammed, and I can fire. Okay. Cool. So let's get rid of all these debug.logs that I put in here now because I don't need them. Know what the durability is at. Not what that's at. And I think when I unjam, I don't need a... Now, I should probably make a little icon now. Oh, hey, Blue Light, how's it going? I should probably at some point make an icon that says on screen that your gun is jammed. Because right now, good. You missed my, actually, have you been, I guess I don't know how much you've been paying attention in Chris's Discord the last couple days of my rants about microcontrollers and stuff. But I've started another project. It involves one of these bad boys. But so what I was saying is, yeah. Okay. So basically this is devolved into, I was working on that. And then as I've been working on it, I was like, I can make robots with these. And honestly, I'm at this point in my career right now where I kind of want to move away from just general software engineering. It's like a little bit of mixture of like, it's not like my vibe. And who knows what the future is going to look like with AI too. It's really, really hard to say if that's going to, if that's actually going to really take off and be like what the world is like, or if it just straight up like implodes. But like, so one of the things that kind of like fascinates me right now is like, I've realized I love to code, but I don't necessarily like just being a software engineer. I want to like do things. And like one thing that does fascinate me, and I wish I had like pursued it a little bit more. I took a class in college and like dropped out of the class because of reasons out of my control, where they basically, you weren't required to take certain classes to take the class, but like you were required to take certain classes to take the class. So I got in the class and there was just stuff I did not know that honestly should have been prereqs and not just a recommendation. So like I left the class and then never like circled back around. But like robotics is one of the things that I like do find fascinating. And it's cool because I like it to build things and like actual like things of like it, but it also still involves programming. And I do genuinely enjoy programming. So hence is like how this emulator thing started, because I was like, oh, I want to make a little handheld emulator to play, old video games and stuff like that. And like I've done it before where I've set one of these things up and just hooked it up to the TV and played like that. But I wanted to go a step beyond that, and I wanted to actually build a handheld. Because like, I mean, making an emulator on these things is super easy. You just download like RetroPie or there's another big one and stuff. And you're just good to go. Like it's super easy. Anybody could do it. But I want to like build it myself. So that's kind of like the project I've been going on. But then I was like, oh, since I'm doing this, I was like, I could build robots too. Robots are cool. And then that just turned into me spending a good chunk of the day literally like Googling combat robot leagues in like around my in the Bay Area, because now I'm sitting there going, I could just build a battle bot. So we'll see what happens. I'm definitely gonna start with the getting this emulator running, and at that point I think I kind of want to like, I'm gonna start spending some time like actually diving into like that realm of programming and stuff, and and build a little robot. And maybe build a robot, like a little robot, I'll build like a combat robot, like a small, like, I don't remember the weight classes, but like the one, I think the two like popular ones are like 1.5 pounds and like 3 pounds. Just build like a little combat robot, and if I actually do anything with it, cool. If not, it's a cool project that I can definitely put on a resume. But like, yeah, I think that's kind of what I want to like transition to in my career, is being more than just like a software engineer, but being like, now if I got a job in game dev, 100% I'll take that. That's probably like the one job in like just straight software engineering that I would like do. But I kind of want to move into something a little bit more like tangible and not necessarily software. So I've been learning that stuff. And then that's what causes the whole rabbit hole of me being upset that like Radio Shacks don't exist anymore, and Raspberry Pis being super expensive, and it's a whole thing. But I also I complain honestly, like because the Raspberry Pi 5 I don't know how much that thing costs, but the one I was looking at was a CM4, which is literally just a compute module and not like a full thing like this. And even like with the higher prices because of like stock issues and like that, the CM4 is like $80. Like for what that thing can do, I don't know why I'm complaining about $80. Like it's realistically speaking, the fact that that thing is only $80 with inflated prices is insane. And it, honestly, I still think is a steal. But I think what I'm doing, I think is just for cost savings. Especially because I don't know what I'm doing and there's a solid chance that I could fry the board. I think I'm just going to do a Pi Zero because those are like 20 bucks. And if I fry it, I'm not going to feel bad about it. But if I fry an $80 microcontroller, I'm going to be a little sad. And I only really care about emulating like Game Boy and NES and like the old stuff anyway, which the Pi Zero can do. I think even then, I think the CM4 only has like a slight advantage of being able to do like PS1 and N64 like a bit better. But I've been doing a ton of research and stuff like that. But I think, yeah, and honestly, I think for testing and stuff like that, I honestly, before like, cause I haven't even really done like soldering and all that stuff and like in a long time. I honestly might test with this thing before I even try on a Pi Zero, just because I've had this thing this is a Pi 2. I got this thing in college. It's so old. It's so out of date. Like if I fry this thing, I'm not going to feel bad about it. Because yeah, I know that's the one thing is like, I know how to work with like the GPIO pins and like do that kind of stuff. Because like I've made like a little robot arm before and stuff like that and like real like low power things. So like I've been able to get by, but like the electrical engineering part of this shit is the stuff that I don't know very well. Like I don't know what capacitors and I mean, I know what resistors do generally, but like there's a lot that has to do with like electronics and electrical engineering that I don't know. So it's gonna be a big learning experience. Now I just went on that whole like tangent about me potentially making a BattleBot. And by BattleBot, I mean like the half pounder guys, or not, like 1.5 pound, 3 pound guys. Yeah, I already bought a soldering iron because I just don't have my soldering iron anymore, and I've been like just practicing on just old things that I have laying around and doing and testing with the what are the tools called that are able to test like currents and stuff like that and everything. And so I've been like successfully soldering, so eventually we'll move into doing it on something live. I just gotta wait for like a lot of the shit like I bought a couple of just like the multimeter, thank you. I've bought a couple of just like the electronics like kits and stuff that just have like wires and switches and jumpers and everything in it and stuff like that to play around with that stuff and learn how to do it. And then ultimately I'm gonna have to, buy like source out some like proper like buttons to use for like my controller and I think with the project I'm trying to do, I think I'm gonna have to like draw out like a PC, like a custom PCB and have it like, made for me. Cause I think I'll run out of space if I try to just shove a breadboard in a box with a bunch of wires and everything. So I'll have to get some custom PCB work done and everything. So I'm gonna have to learn how to do, draw those or like design those and everything. And I'm excited though. It's cool to have projects in free time. Not that I don't have this. Yes, Hendrix. You want to say hi to people? Oh, I'm gonna get caught on my carpet. Say hi, Hendrix. Oh, your claws are sharp. Say hi. Say hi. Oh, you just want to smell it? Okay, yep. There you go. I mean, what you're seeing, I don't really have a lot to demo. I haven't like built like the game part of the game yet. But the stuff that I've been working on since the last time I was streaming regular is, I mean, you just saw me do the unjamming stuff. Oh yeah, I'm immensely farther than where I was in Godot. It only took me, because when did I do the switch? Back in like October, something like that. Whenever the drama with Godot happened, because I had great timing on that whole move. But like, it only took me a month and a half ish to get to where I was in Godot into Unity. Which I mean, really all I had to do was just, I didn't even really have to, I just had to translate code. I didn't even really have to rewrite code. There was a couple of things I had to re-engineer and relearn how to do. Because like the tile system I had to was different in Unity, so I had to learn that. My whole annoyingly, like, Unity apparently doesn't have built-in timers, so like I remember like one thing I had to do was, oh, that's version control. Don't care about that. One of the things I did was like write this thing out, which is literally I took what Godot's timer is and made it in Unity. So it's like little stuff like this that I had to do, but for the most part it wasn't too bad. But yeah, no, I'm like way farther. I mean, geez, I could show you. No, I can't, because I don't have Godot. It's because I'm on my new computer that and I never put Godot on the new computer. But yeah, I mean, so some of the things I was working on is like, I just finished the other day, is I have the ability to swap, swappable guns now. So you can have two guns equipped and you can swap between the two. The next thing is going to be working on like these auxiliary items, which will be like grenades and health packs and stuff like that. Which is going to be, I got to figure out how I want to design that one out. The other big one is the fact that I have the whole inventory system has been completely overhauled into the drag and drop, like Tetris system, where before I literally just had a list of buttons that I was clicking. And then if I go ahead and reload this guy, the stash has been updated to do the thing. I haven't updated. The only thing you can do interact with the secondary weapon is the inventory, because I got to port all those changes to all the different menus. I just haven't done it yet. Loot drops have been created. I did a bit of art. Don't know how I necessarily feel about some of this art, but I did do art. Yeah, a bunch of stuff there. I need to. Oh, this, I have a whole system here going. So like I could take this, you can click these things and interact. And this is, so like if I wanted to, I could sell like this gun. I got $100 right here. If I hit, apparently that doesn't have any value. Oh yeah, neither of these have like any value right now. But yeah, like I can go through here and click through like different types of ammo, hit purchase, and then I'll move them over here. And then the same thing, I can go ahead and like sell them back. So I got the shop system put in place. I don't really have any vendors yet, but the system itself is in place. And that actually, this was the most fun to get working with the new inventory system. So that's it there. And then if I hop into a scene, shoot, I don't know if I have any. Okay, so there is a zombie down there. So if I go down here, I have the sound turned off because the guns are super annoying right now. You can loot, you can loot things when you kill and everything like that. And then one of the other new features I did is if I come over here, or if I go back in, because I think actually that zombie that's running around might be the, okay, yeah, so this is the character zombie. So if I come over here and I find where the zombie went, and like notice my inventory, I've got like 2 guns, 2 things of ammo, and then a bigger gun. If I let the zombie kill me, I don't know why he couldn't kill me going up, but he got me. I don't have any way to get out of this yet, so I kind of just have to kill the menu or kill the game at that point. But what you'll notice is since I died, inventory's gone. Like everything got dumped. Go in here. I'll grab this guy, I guess. Go ahead and equip that. Reload it. Health is 0. I gotta sort that out still, but we'll figure that out. But now, when I go into the scene and I go find this zombie, when I go loot it, that zombie is specifically the player. So that this is the one way. Yeah, this is the one way in the game that if you die, you can get your stuff back. And it's a one chance too. Like if you die, next time you go into the level, it will create that zombie and put that inventory in there. And if you don't hunt that zombie down and kill it, then that stuff is like gone for good. And I wanted to find a way to like not be completely like, oh, I died, I lost all my stuff. Like I want to give it a chance to get your things back. The reason why it's a one chance and then it's gone is because one of my friends was messing around with some stuff in the game for me. And he came to this realization that if he ran out of room in his stash, he could take a bunch of stuff that he wouldn't be super upset if he lost, and would go out into the game and then die. And then it would take all that inventory and slap it on a zombie. And at the time, I just let that zombie persist until you killed it. And he basically was like, yeah, no, if I run out of space, I could just die on purpose. And then if I he's like, now if I died, he was like, I'd lose all that stuff because the inventory would get overwritten and everything like that. But he was like, it was a risk I would take. He's like, because he could essentially like expand his inventory by like just setting some stuff in a zombie and then just hoping he didn't die. And if he needed it, he could go kill the zombie and get the stuff. Yes, in any way, it does not matter how you die. If you die, your stuff will get put into a zombie. Yeah, it doesn't matter if you like kill yourself, if you get killed by someone shooting at you or a zombie itself killing you. Yeah, if you die, it gets put into a zombie. I think it's basically I'm kind of going in the direction of the game of where I think The Walking Dead that went this route, to basically I'm using this excuse to explain why some of the mechanics work, is basically everyone's already got the infection in the game. It's if you like, doesn't matter if you get bit by a zombie or if you just die. When you die, the zombie virus will take over and you'll turn into a zombie. Because I even have a mechanic in, I don't know if it's functioning right now. I think it's functioning. It's functioning, but it might be turned off. That when you kill, like even say like the zombies, when you kill them, they won't die. They'll just fall over and they'll die. If you kill like another like NPC character out in the wild, like a military dude or like a hunter out in the wild or a bandit or something like that, those guys, when they die, it goes on a timer, and when that timer's up, basically it'll bring the character back as a zombie. Because of how the world works in the game, where like where everyone can fight everyone. If you were to, it kind of adds a little bit of like not knowing how safe an area is, because if you walk up into like say an army camp, right? And you see, or like a hunter's camp, and you just see a dead guy laying on the ground, you don't know how long he's been dead. So there's a chance where if you're going around looting things, that you could get attacked by that guy like turning. I don't know if I have that function, or like I said, I think it's functioning. I think I just have it turned off right now. Because I think there was issues with the inventory when I swapped to the new inventory system. I think there was issues with it and I haven't fixed it yet, but like, yeah. So it's like, yeah, if you yourself kill like an NPC, you know that you're gonna have, you know, at least a few minutes to do stuff before it like turns into a zombie. I contemplated with the idea of adding like a coup de grace into the game, but then I was like, that kind of eliminated the point of why I wanted the NPCs to turn into zombies in the first place, because then it's like, if you walk into an area, you see a bunch of dead people, you'll just go and coup de grace them all and solve that problem. So yeah, it's like if you kill someone yourself, you know that you have like a few minutes before they're gonna turn. But if you just walk up on a dead body, you've got no idea. It could be 5 minutes, it could be 10 seconds. What are you doing, Hendrix? So that's kind of most of everything that's in the game or right now. Really, I'm at the point right now where I need to do, I gotta make content is really it. I need the quest system. There's a few other things that I want, but they probably won't be in like the pre-alpha or like the alpha version of the game, because it's going to be more like customization and stuff like in the hideout and everything. But the for sure's, yeah, are going to be, I want the quest system in. I need to just make items. Like right now there's a bunch of guns, and you can oh, I guess it's the other thing I haven't shown off yet. I don't know if you saw this. That gun works. There's also the whole I updated this menu now to do the to do all the weapon components. So like I can tear a weapon completely apart, and like you can even see in here that it says that it's missing, you know, missing parts. Because then the cool thing is, if I come out of here, you'll notice if like I unequip this gun, it won't let me equip this gun until it's working. So then if I go back up in here, and then I gotta finish this out, because there is the thing too where if I take like this stock off of the gun, this is one of the guns where you'll see that it doesn't have anything red, because like some guns the stock isn't required. But if I pull that guy off and then I slap this guy back on, this stock should not be able to go on the gun, but like it lets me do it right now because I don't have any like differentiation between the what's compatible with what. But yeah, it's, so you'll see if I do, let me grab something here. Let me grab a couple other guns. And different guns all have different options. Like if I put the shotgun in here, there's nothing you can do about this shotgun. It's just, it is what it is. This shotgun, okay, it's the same thing. That has no modification. You'll see that the I can put a magazine on this thing. I don't know if that's supposed to be right. Here we go. The FP7. That's a good example. Like this guy. Something's broke with the barrel, apparently. Probably because the barrel should not be modifiable on this gun. So there's a couple like settings in here. Like if I go in the FP7, I bet you it says that the barrel's swappable, and it shouldn't be. And that's like a checkbox. But you'll see like I can't change the grip on this gun. I can't attach a scope to this gun. But I bet you... P7. See, it says, okay, so this gun said the barrel's swappable. If I uncheck that and save this and go back in, that'll be fixed. Where is it? Yep. There we go. Yeah, so see, now Now you can see the only things you can swap on this gun are the stock, the magazine, and the muzzle. I don't have any muzzles in the game yet. I haven't done anything with muzzles yet. Same thing with scopes. I don't even think... See, like, yeah, there's something wrong with this gun, too. Because I should be able to take those parts off, and I can't. What is this? JK74. Okay, yeah, see, like, data issue. It should look like that. So handguard, do that. Grip swappable required. Barrel swappable required. Magazine swappable required. Muzzle swappable not required. And I guess I'll put the scope on there too. Oops. There we go. So okay, so I do have the scope in there as well. I just don't have any guns that had the scope modifiable. But I don't have any scopes in the game either. I got to figure out how I want that mechanic to work as well. But that's really, I mean, that's the extent of the game. Like I said, I need a quest system. And the rest of it is just content. I got to make items to interact with. I need to make levels. I need to do, it's like most of it's art. Like, and then coming up with, like, I guess a story or something. I don't know. But it's for mechanically the game is like mechanically the game's pretty much done, which is cool. Oh yeah, thanks. It took this right here is such a it took me so long to figure this out. Just like the amount of things that are the moving parts that are going on just in this alone, because I have to, like, I'm gonna have to keep track of, like, you know, what components are compatible with which guns, which that isn't in yet. But I have to, like, you know, track what is on the gun. I have to be able to draw the gun on the screen correctly, as well as drawing it correctly on the person, because one of these is in here, this is an object in the scene, but in here there's sprites on a UI. So like every single one, if you notice, like if I pull up this stock, you'll see a position offset and a UI position offset, and I have to manually like find these offsets and put them in there so that way they'll draw correctly. And then on top of that, like persisting the data, because I think let's see, do I have a scene where you guys can, okay, yeah, so like, I mean, this is what the save data looks like. Oh, hold on, there we go. Oh, it keeps wanting to switch because I click on it and it, okay, so if I actually, I gotta do this one more time. So KD, there we go. Pop back over here. So this is what the save data like looks like now, and like, so all of this stuff has IDs and stuff. So when I'm loading it in, you know, I'm searching for all these IDs and attaching them to because I have item weapons and then I have like inventory item weapons, and the item weapons are like the what are they called? Not prefab, scriptable objects, so they can load the data in, and then these are the inventory items, so the data's for the inventory. And then just, I mean, taking all that stuff and loading it into the weapon component, which is the guy, so the gun actually it was a whole thing. And it's like, this script honestly is one of the ones that's more of a pain in the ass for me to work in, or not this one, this is the timer. Just because there's a lot of moving parts. Just adding the ability to swap weapons after the fact was a real pain point. And I was actually gonna like talk about that in Discord the other day, about how like the difference of because it was like sometimes there's writing something just to get it to work and then cleaning it up later. And then there's other times where honestly you should just do it the way that you want to do it from the beginning. because I knew when I wrote this component that I wanted to have the ability to have like 2 weapons equipped and be able to swap between the 2 of them. That's like a pretty standard feature in a lot of games. But I stood back then, I was like, I'm just going to get this weapon component working and not bother about swapping weapons until I do that later, or until I get to that later, and then realize I had to rewrite, like fundamentally rewrite how a lot of this thing worked, because I had to track 2 different guns in here instead of 1. And then because it's like I also have to deal with like so like I have this swap function, the swap weapon function right here, where its entire job literally is taking in because I have like the primary weapon and the secondary weapon that are cached, you know, for the 2 equipped items. So this swap weapon takes in the one that I was using and sets a couple of the variables that can be changed to what the active weapon was, because I still had to make an active weapon and copy the data over back and forth, because otherwise it was just stuff was getting confused. It took me like a week to do something as simple as adding weapon swapping. It took me like a week to like sort out in my brain how this would work and track everything, because it wasn't written to handle that originally. And yeah, it's a headache. That's why like all the future things I'm doing now, I'm like, if I know that I'm going to have like I want to have a certain feature, I'm gonna just do it from the beginning. There, you know, if I don't know, then I don't know, and there's nothing I can do about that. But if I know, I just need to write it to work in the first place, because that was a whole thing. Fortunately, adding, or actually even just adding this weapon jamming thing also ended up being more of a thing than I realized, because I needed to, because originally I was like, I just was gonna have yeah, I mean, it is pretty normal. But like the weapon jamming, I originally was just going to have a bool in, you know, at the top of this weapon component that detected if the gun was jammed, and then realized, oh crap, I have to be able to, if I switch weapons, I need to unjam the weapon. And I didn't want the ability to just switching guns to unjam it. So suddenly that turned into a whole, okay, I got to make this a variable that is saved to the gun, which then meant like if this game were out there in the wild for people to play, if I were to have implemented this gun thing, it basically would have broke people's saves. And I think there's a way that I could have elegantly probably a way that I could have done it to where it didn't break people's saves, but like I would have had to put effort into it not breaking people's saves. But I'm trying to think, what is it? May. I really, my original plan was to have an alpha for this end of Q1. And now here we are, end of the first month of Q2, and I still don't have anything. I've been working on this for, oh Lord, how long have I been working on this? Let's find out. See, yeah, believe me, I know it's normal. I mean, I deal with this stuff at work all the time, but the problem is at work, when stuff is falling behind, I have people up my ass saying this stuff needs to get done now. I don't really have accountability here, so like when I fall behind, I'm just falling behind. Okay, yeah, let me swap back over to this scene. So this is my repo. And if I go to, actually, this is even a good thing because this repo is when I switch to Unity. So actually, if I go back here, so in 2025, there was a bit in January that I didn't have a lot of work going on, but this was actually expected because I had a lot going on here. Big Warhammer tournament I was preparing for. But then once I got past January, my developments picked up. 2024, I had a solid year. Look at all this contributions I was doing. I almost had a contribution every single day, or on average. And I think, honestly, I think I almost had something every single week. Let's see, there's 1 week in February I didn't have anything. And honestly, this doesn't even mean that I didn't work on the game either. I just didn't push anything to GitHub. But yeah, I had nothing in February. Looks like I had nothing in either June or July. Okay, that was June. 2 weeks in August. That makes sense because I was on vacation. Yeah. But looks like... Okay, so 2023. What is this? 2D RPG. Okay, so that's not it. What's happened here? 2D RPG. I don't remember. This honestly, actually, these two is what stemmed the thing, because I was originally trying to. I fell down the path of like, I'm gonna make an MMO. And I was working, I wanted to make basically like a 2D RuneScape. So I was dealing with like top down, and I was doing the clicking to move and trying to interact with stuff and everything. So this time is probably what I spent more learning Godot. Then I made my own project here. And then I realized this is dumb. I shouldn't do an MMO. And okay, so this was Pong 20. Okay, this is like a 20 game challenge thing that I was doing. And I made Pong and Godot, I believe. There we go. Extraction game right here. So December 19th of 2023 is the first... Dude, MMOs are so easy. Honestly, I'm still convinced that like... I'm not even convinced. I know I have the technical ability to make an MMO. But... And realistically, like I could make RuneScape by myself. I really could. Like I know for a fact I could. But that's one of those games though that like I just know for a fact I don't want to do solo. I really think that people both undersell and oversell the amount of work it takes to make an MMO. I really think that like if I had like a handful of people that realistically we could crank out an MMO like pretty quick. The problem is the life cycle that MMO would take though just doesn't like jive, I feel like, with the modern day. Because like look at RuneScape when it first came out. It was like super bare bones. There wasn't a lot going on and they slowly built on it over time. And I feel like that doesn't work anymore. You have to have like... Yeah, you have to have like so much content even just up front. Because there's not really, like, people don't really have this whole, like, I'm going to play a game and, like, grow with it anymore and stuff like that. People will just, like, beat the game immediately or do all the content there is immediately and then like, move on to the next thing before more content even got added. But that is a thing that I want to do in the future is, like, actually, like, genuinely take a stab at trying to make... honestly, my big, like... Oh god, what am I thinking of? Like reference point that I would probably base it off of would be RuneScape. Just because that game's my shit. Yeah, here we are. December 19th is the first repo or the first commit I made to initial commit. Oh look, I even added a readme. I had 60 branches. If I had Godot like installed, I would definitely be like, I've done this before, but like I would 100% like love to check out. Oh, yep. No worries, Blue Forge or Blue Light Forge. I always appreciate it. So wanting to make an idle like RPG for mobile. That clock thing I made is the first time I exported to APK and it went quite well. Well, the first thing with... Yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah, dude, that clock thing is kind of cool. But yeah, I'm interested. I should fire up Godot and like look at like some of these old branches. Like, here, let's look at create player. Oh, there's so few folders. Learned how audio players worked was the commit message. Oh, let's see what the script for it looks like. Oh my god, it's 53 lines of code. Didn't even have a class name yet. I had hunger, health, hunger, and thirst, and all of that stuff. Like, but like honestly, like hunger and thirst didn't get implemented until way later. It moved. Okay, yeah. So it looks like it can move around, and it was able to fire. Oh yeah. So I did have a gun. I got a feel. Something tells me that the gun was attached in a very different way, but. God, it's so weird looking at GD script again. Oh, look, this one had a class name. Yeah, that's literally all I had was I had a player and I'm pretty sure if I load this up, the player can move around and it shot and it was just the Godot guy, the little robot. And I'm pretty sure all it did was shoot a smaller little Godot guy to move across the screen. That's so cool. And then like here, if I go up to say like fours can't POI. Not even found. Here we go. Fours can't POI. If I go into the, oh geez, the folders are completely changed now. Characters. Player. Okay, so at this point I had like an actual, like I had inheritance going on here. So there's the character GD, which was just a couple things and then a signal. There we go. Now we're talking. This is when I had loading and saving in the game. I had was the character was actually doing shit. That's cool. Oh, okay. I've been doing a whole lot of yapping for like an hour now and haven't made any progress. What was I even working on? Oh yeah, we had gun jamming. Gun jamming's done. Gun jamming works. Dude, that's honestly kind of why I quit streaming for a little bit, because it like was really screwing with my productivity. Like, not gonna lie. It was a mixture of that, and then the fact that it was also, well, the funny thing was when nobody was around, honestly, it wasn't as bad. Like when people were around, it's so much worse. But like it got to the point too where I was like, God, I was like, I'm wasting so much time streaming instead of just working. And then it was like on top of that, I wasn't even getting anything out of it because my stream wasn't growing. And honestly, I was kind of getting frustrated, like trying to like talk to myself and not people around. Why it's super, super nice when like you and Blue Light and Dorindicator still like pop around and sometimes. But I got to figure out what I was in this loop of where I'm trying to get, because at least like, so when Chris started streaming, he at least had the audience of his podcast that was able to hop in and stuff like that. So he kind of had people, he had people like that were able to like from day one were popping in his stream. Like, I mean, day one, I was like in his stream because I like knew, versus like I'm sitting here trying to start from like scratch. And I have the benefit of like at least a handful of you guys like come over, or, you know, like would come over and stuff like that. and hang out, but I never had people really consistently come out with outside of like an exception of like a couple of you. And just when my streaming time just didn't work with like jive with your guys' schedules. So it's like I've been trying and trying, and it's like I haven't, my retention for my viewer retention of people popping in that are like not related to Chris's stream was like non-existent. Like I see like new viewers pop in all the time, but then like on my post recap, but like no one ever would talk or stick around and stuff like that. And I think I was struggling to like make it entertaining because no one was around in here. That's why like there's like that first wall where you have to get a couple people that are like regulars that you can rely on being there every stream, because then it makes it easier to be entertaining, and then the other randos that pop in can like build up on top of it. And I just haven't been able to get past that like initial wall. Because like I'm no stranger to the streaming game. I just feel it's been a lot harder for me to make this and more entertaining than back in college when I was playing video games with my roommates. All right, I think this is a valid thing to do on this branch. I'm gonna make a little progress bar above the player to show like reload time and jam time, so you can kind of get a rough idea of what's happening. Don't do it. Hey Fev, how's it going? Streamed once, got a viewer, panicked, and never did it again. Ah, man, it's not bad. It's not bad. I always got... I mean, I definitely feel you too. I remember... I remember like when I first like started streaming wait, my hair is like lopsided. Good old getting old baldness kicking in. Like when I first started streaming like, back in college and I was playing video games and stuff, I like remember when I would get like a random person in chat and I like panicked and didn't know what to do and everything and stuff like that. And at least with you guys, I like know you for the most part, like through Discord and everything. So you're not like complete strangers. I'm just waiting for that time though that I get like a random raid from like someone who's got like, because Chris doesn't count because I know Chris and I knew the viewers that were in there, stuff like that. But like a raid from like a different streamer that's got like, you know, 10 to 20 viewers or something like that, and they send them all my way. Then I might go do a, like an oh shit. Which I don't know why. Like, I mean, when I streamed in college playing video games and stuff like that, me and my roommate both were polling like between 100 and 200 viewers every night. So like I'm used to being in front of people. And I mean, even in like high school and stuff, I was in a band. I played the drum. I mean, you can see my drums behind me. I played drums and stuff like that. And like we played concerts and stuff like in front of like hundreds of people. Like being in front of people is like doesn't bother me at all. And honestly, this is easier because like it doesn't really register that I'm in front of people because I can't see you. It was a little different when I was like behind a drum kit, literally staring at the people. Whoa, what's this air? Attached attachment on click. Did I wear deep V's? I don't remember wearing deep V's on stream. Everything I wear is this. That's my entire wardrobe is band shirts and racing shirts. God, this is bothering me. Right here, I can see it on my camera, like that hairline going away because I'm freaking old. I know I'm like not even, I know Zurit's gonna get offended by that because I'm only 30. Do you still have your hair? I've thought about trying like, what is it, hymns or something like that, just to, but I don't know. I also don't necessarily like, I don't really care either. It's hair. I gotta follow in what Pirate Software said. about having hair being bald versus balding, because he like, I forget he used it as an example, but he was like, look at this man, and he had like long full hair. He's like, he's an attractive dude. He's like, then he pulled up some other guy that was like that was like bald, right? He's like, see this guy, he's also an attractive dude. Then he pulled up a guy that was balding. He's like, yeah, this guy's not attractive. He's like bald, fine. Balding, bad. If you're balding, just shave it all off and go bald. You'll look way better. Attached attachment. What is this? What is this from? Hold on. Is that in here? Attached attachment. That has an on click. Oh, okay. Because then there's... Gotcha. I understand what this is. That was just a parent class. What did I click on that got the not implemented exception though? I wonder if it was from... I don't know. Oh, you know what? I know what that's from. Watch. If I go in here, throw this guy on, if I click the scope. Yeah, it's from the scope. Okay. Panic gone. All right, so we need to figure out how to make a little action bar above the... Okay, we're not doing it this way. Open up the player. We're gonna add... that guy, so we can see where this bar should go. So what I need here is a... not an empty game object. I'm gonna call this the action bar. The action bar needs a... what's the HUD use? Oh, it's just an image. Okay. Can I use this the way that I think I can use it? We'll see. Oh. We go on the action bar and we call this, and we add an image to it. Prefab mismatch. The instance of type transform seems to refer to the corresponding source object type rect transform prefab. Can I not? But that was an O, not a 0. I probably can't. No. All right. Well, I guess I didn't need to delete that. Oops, that's a new scene. How do I do? Because I don't want it can't be part of the UI is the problem. But something tells me having it track or having it be part of like the heads up display and track where the player is seems like it'd be a pain to do, especially considering the fact that I'm gonna add health bars to I might add health bars to the NPCs. I haven't decided that yet.
Hello, fantastic people.
No, we're not having the audio. What do you use? Oh, this guy's literally doing exactly what I said he was going to be doing, where he's going to follow the... No, I'm not vibe coding. I'm trying to figure out how to put a progress bar like to move the head. I'm watching a dude's YouTube video that's way more complex. Good vibe code. Let's pull up the old chat GPT. Unity, have an image above a character's head in a 2D game, but not part of the UI. Yeah, I mean, as you guys can see, I'm no, like, stranger to using ChatGPT. Oh, it's fun. Actually, I played with this Where's Waldo thing. Because I was testing something on the internet where people were complaining that, like, the Where's Waldo thing wasn't working. So I asked it to make a Where's Waldo picture for me. And, of course, it worked where Waldo is the biggest freaking thing in the picture. The other thing that did fix, though, with ChatGPT is how many R's in the word strawberry. It used to only say 2, but I think it does it right now. Yeah, it does it right now, and it says that there's 3. Create the image as a sprite. Can I do a progress bar with the sprite? I don't think about it. I don't see why not. Sprite. Renderer. Sorting layer. Rendering mat. See, it doesn't have a fill option is the problem. I mean, technically I could... I don't think I've messed with Claude. Does what does Copilot use? I mean, I don't have Copilot set up, but I think Copilot uses I think Copilot uses ChatGPT. I'm not sure. Yeah. Claude AI. I'll have to sign in. All right, fine. I'll give more people my information. More people my information. I'm signing in with my studio Gmail. $17 a month. I know there's a free plan, but what's the benefit of the Pro? Like, what does more usage mean? Substantially more usage. Scale usage based on specific needs, blah, blah. I mean, I'm not buying Pro. Access to projects to organize chats, ability to use more Claude models, extended thinking for complex, or I don't know. I'm gonna stay on the free plan. Yep, cool. Don't care. Call myself lethal. Coding and development. That's it. What's first on my list? Develop deployment, blah, blah, blah. Yep, look at my code and give me tips. That's good enough for me. In Unity, how do I make a progress bar above the player's head that is in the world and not on the UI? Let's specify Unity 2D. This all of a sudden is... Oh. This is overkill. I know for a fact I don't have to do all of this. Oh, this is even creating the thing in... Okay, yeah, this is using a sprite renderer. Wait, what's the fill bar? What do you think the fill bar is? Create bar sprite? What the hell is a bar sprite? Background bar equals create bar sprite. Create bar sprite. It's creating a sprite renderer. Okay. What's the fill bar? The fill bar is a transform? Am I just like doing the... Oh, it's doing... Okay. I was literally about to do this before we got on this AI thing. It's doing the scale. Which... I feel like it's gonna... Instead of doing a progress bar like this, I feel like it's gonna go like this. Which I don't think I hate. Let's try that. Because since that was kind of my gut feeling at first anyway. Oh, I just need something generic. See, yeah, you can do that. The problem is they're doing it with a sprite renderer. And the sprite renderer doesn't have that option. If I was using an image, the image has the fill option on it. That was my problem in the first place, is because I tried to throw an image in here, but I can't do that since I wanted it in the world. Yeah. So that's why my next gut feeling was like, oh, I guess I can just do the sprite. The problem is I'm gonna have to custom draw this sprite to match above the head, because if I do something like the background, for example, Like, where did that go? Like this background sprite? I don't like that sprite. UI sprite? Okay, let's do that sprite. Can I... See, that screws with the scale. So yeah, I'm going to have to physically draw a little progress bar. Which is fine. I just have to make sure I just have to draw it because I need to draw it to scale of the dudes. That way when it gets drawn on there, it's just drawn correctly. So I guess let's open up a sprite and get a sprite drawn for this. You hungry, buddy? It's only 4 o'clock. It's not dinner yet. I'll feed you guys in a half hour. But half hour to hour. Depends on how long I stream. I feel like normally this is the time that I'm like, all right, nobody's in chat. I'm gonna go because I'm tired of doing this. But like when there's actually people here and actually talking, it's a whole lot easier to stream. Oh, that is not. There we go. So new file. Let's say the width is gonna be. Say the width is 20. Oh, well, shoot. First off, I made the height is too high. So the width is 20, and then the height, let's say, is like 2 pixels, I guess. And then we're gonna grab white, and we're going to do that. And then we're gonna export as. Delete. Okay, cool. These things have been like bugging me forever. Oh, you guys can't see it because it's in focus on a sprite. Local div. Where do I? Where is this repo saved? There it is. Assets. Right. Let's call this action bar because I can use this for a lot of things. Do that. Action bar PNG export. Cool. Now if we bring the action bar in, that is not as big as I thought it would be. Oh, actually, I know why. Because if I here, right editor, or no. I need the. Give me the guy. There we go. No, not that. 16. You're gonna be a single sprite. I believe it's clamp. Point, no filter, low quality, apply. All right, now if I go back to the action bar, re-put that on. Now it should be. Oh, that is way too big. 1, 2, 3. Oh, that's because my dude's not even. My dude's not even 16 sprite. Wait, why is it so? Hold up. Characters, player, default. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, wait. No. My scale's off. There we go. Save that and let's see what it looks like on the. In the scene. Oh, yeah, that's a problem. Yeah, and this actually has to go up higher. 0, 1.25 might be good. The Z can be on the 0. That's fine. Sorting layer, I'm gonna have to... Sorting layer might be... No, that I might have to screw with that. Okay, so that doesn't look too bad. Yeah, the sorting layer definitely needs to be updated, but we can handle that, no problem. So what I need to do then is... How do I want to do this? Because the problem is if I stick it in like... Because the two big things are going to be reloading and weapon jams that I'm going to have to do that thing. I can't have the weapon component. I'll have to have the weapon component-ish do an event. Fire off an event that did it. Except no, that won't work either because I won't have access to the timers then. Which, oh no, that's not a problem because I can have a timer for this guy, and basically what I can do, I can send over, I can fire off an event that then my character can grab. And that event will just tell me the duration that I need for the action bar progress. And then in there, I can do the calculations like that. So then I can separate it from the weapon component. Because otherwise the weapon component, yeah, that's the only way I can do it without the weapon component getting a dependency on the player. And I can't have a dependency on the player because the AI also uses that thing. And then the second that I, yeah, it can't have a dependency on the player. We can adjust this thing a little bit. Or, we'll adjust the size later, but we just need to get this working. So that means specifically on the player, scrap it, start over. I 100% am not making this game in Unreal. If I do a if I were to do a 3D game, I would use Unreal because I do like Unreal. The only reason I'm not doing 3D, or I mean the only reason I'm not using Unreal is because I'm doing a 2D game. And 2D and Unreal just don't go well together. I've tried it. I've dealt with that pain before. I'm sure it's gotten better, but I have crossed that bridge. I'm 100%. If I'm making a 2D game, I'm working in Unity. If I'm making a 3D game, I work in Unreal. Because there's a lot about Unreal I really like. I'm also a psycho and I like C++. Okay, so the player is going to need... Wow, do I have no timers on the player? Oh, I guess the hunger and the... Where are my timers? Oh, actually, so this timing comment made a comment. I have been using awake and start wrong. And I ran into that headache with start and awake when I was making that feature with the where with the zombie having like an old person's, like when you die they have like the inventory and stuff like that, because the timing was all screwy. And there's a bunch of my code that I had to refactor, and there's still a bunch of code that I need to refactor where I'm properly pulling out start and update. Because like what I basically need to do is, I think I specifically have this in update because it wasn't working in start or awake. And so, okay, so I do have timers. Where's hunger timer, thirst timer? Where? Oh, they're up here. Okay, my variables are just an absolute atrocity. This file needs cleaned up. Not even refactored, it just needs to be organized better. Action bar timer, and then setup component. Actually, so see, I have awake in here. And I think these needed to be in awake. See, I still think that I'm doing that. Yeah, I think this is wrong. In this instance, it's not. Plus, I already have stuff that I'm running an update anyway. So I was already utilizing update. It's just for whatever reason these, because all this is triggering the UI, and I was just doing stuff in a bad order. And I just go, I have like an initialized flag, so it only runs this bit once, but like otherwise I mean I still need the update loop because this is the player, because I got to do, you know, input checking. Awake, so awake happens. So how did this work? Because I was dealing with it. Because awake, let me find where I was doing the. So yeah, update happens every frame. Late update happens the last. Like, yeah, if the physics update, I don't remember entirely how that one works. I'm not using physics update in this game, obviously. Hey, Zeppelin. But yeah, I do know that update is like happens every frame, but then late update happens at the end, like after update is run, then late update is run. But if I go into is it level manager? No, it's not in here. So it's on the. I don't want to talk about coroutines, okay? Oops. Am I doing it in the force generator? Oh yeah, see, I'm gonna have to oh wait, no, I don't need to do that, because so part of the thing was it didn't make sense to me to have like if you died in like the forest then that zombie was like in some other level. I might change it, I don't know, but there's definitely a legitimate reason why that zombie code isn't specifically the forest generator scene and not like a generic one. But so what was happening in here was, okay, so load player zombie happens at the end of, so start calls. Yeah, so okay, it says right here, start is called once before the first execution of update after the mono behavior is created. I have a feeling that what happens is, so when you run instantiate, I'd have to double check this and I'm too lazy to go right now. I'm pretty sure the part of the awake is like when the object is created, and I'm pretty sure part of the return of instantiate is the running of awake. But it is that like awake happens before start. So like, because I know the general rule of thumb, I know now, and I did know then, and I just didn't fully comprehend the issues behind it, is that anything that you're doing that has to do with like the initialization of the specific object itself should be can be done in awake. But if it needs to be, if it relies on the existence of other things, or then you can do it in update, or I mean in start, because then at least, because then you know in start, like you can't, because you don't know the order that the stuff is running in is the problem. And God, like I learned it when I was specifically trying to do this, and I've already forgotten exactly how it works because it's complicated. Well, let's ask Claude. In Unity, when does awake run in response to instantiate? There is a way that I've heard that it's oh yeah, and then you've got on enable as another thing in there. So you call instantiate to create a new game object. Unity creates the game object and all its components. Unity calls awake on all of those components of that. Okay, so yeah, I guess what happens then, that what was happening here is I had stuff happening in start on the zombie instead of awake. So the problem is this stuff wasn't in the, like its inventory and stuff, for example, wasn't like initialized correctly. So I kept getting null. So what I had to do is move the creation of like the zombie, like all like stuff like it's that was probably like, you know, the zombie creating basically the zombie needed to create its inventory object in awake and instead of start, because what would happen then is I ran instantiate and it would fire awake, and then awake would run all that stuff before I moved on to the rest of the code. The problem was is when I had it in start, I would instantiate the zombie and then I'd be like down here before the inventory was even created in the first place. It was a whole thing. Took me forever to figure out, and then realized what I broke and was like, oh, this is not good. The hell does this thing? Oh, that's probably the... Yeah, it was a whole freaking thing, but yeah, I eventually got it working. Because yeah, if I go into the character now, you'll see in the character, I have my setup components happening in awake, and then in awake here is where it's creating these, because like I could do, you know, this stuff with the components in awake because I'm generating them here, but then like, yeah, there's stuff that like I'm trying to think of an example with where I've done this where it matters on start. But yeah, it's a whole deep technical thing now that I understand, but I don't know how to explain it. I know what I'm doing, but I'm a shit teacher. Okay, so anyway, back to where we were. On the player, I need to create an action bar timer. Cool. Then in components, in the awake function, I need to create... Hey, School of Rock. Those who can't do, teach. And those who can't teach, teach gym class. So equals new timer. It's going to be not a one shot. Or no, it is a one shot. It's not going to be auto start, and then I don't need to set the wait time. The default is fine. Zeppelin, why are you hissing at Jackson? He was just walking past you, minding his own business, coming to bother me because he's hungry. All right, and then action bar timer dot on timeout. Hold, actually, before I screw this up again, I forgot to do this on the Unjam earlier because when I created this timer and how I wanted it to work, I couldn't make it a mono behavior. And since it wasn't a mono behavior, I didn't have access to update. So I had to make a tick function, and then any mono behavior that uses timers, I have to make sure, hence why I have in my update function this timers method, I have to make sure that I go through and manually tick my timers. And on my unjam or my jam thing earlier, I forgot to add the timer to unjam the weapon to its update to tick it, so then it would start it and then it would never actually cycle through. But is it the raspberry? Only one man would dare give me the raspberry. Lone Star. So if the action bar is running, I can call the tick. The problem is I might need to add another property to get the time left. I'm just going to go ahead and public float. Oh, well. Or you can just delete everything. No worries. I was actually probably getting off in like 10 minutes anyway. Yeah, it was good to see you too. Thanks for hanging out. Always appreciate it. Trying to get my streaming life back to normal and back to like regular. But I don't know when I'll be streaming again. What is today? Wednesday? Today's Wednesday. So I won't be streaming for tomorrow for sure. So I'll probably be back on Friday. So if you're here, see you then. If not, I'll see you whenever.